30 seconds of your time to explain this, and I promise you, you won't regret it. So now I'm doing a rework of every single god in Smite into Smite 2, because I see that no one has ever is really doing this, even though they have big player bases that will love to see their opinions. So I want to give you my opinions because no one else is doing it. I think the Mass is the only person that done it, but he's not going through A through Z like I will. I'm going from Achilles all the way to Zonquay in order. Now let's get into it. Okay. So with Achilles, I want you to define what I think he is first. I think he is a solo jungle bruiser character, as most warriors are bruisers. You know, a little bit of power and a little bit of defense. So that's what we're going to be striving to complete with this rework. And it's not a full rework, it's more of a partial, or more of a, it's like the spicy changes that happen in season 2. I think pretty much every character in Smite, almost every character, should be getting some level of a spicy rework. So I'm going to give Achilles a spicy rework. I don't know why I keep putting it in quotations so you can see, but I'm going to give Achilles a spicy rework. And the first spiciness of his rework is his passive. And I think the passive is one of the key parts of Achilles in making him feel special, because it's one of the only, he's literally the only god that can switch stances in that way, like in base and being like, oh yeah, I want more protection or I want more damage, pretty much. So I think that's a cool thing. So let's play around that, right? So the first way I made it to where you can play around this is, if you're in your 1 and you're in skin stance, which skin is when you have no armor, that's what I'm going to refer to it as. If you're in skin stance, the inner part will do 20% more scaling and the outer part will have 5% more scaling. So the inner part where the stun is just more damage. So that's a simple change. But now if you're in armor stance, get this one straight. You get an armor, you get to reflect any projectile back to where it came. Or not back to where it came, but forward when you shoot forward. So pretty much on your ruler line, that's where it will reflect back to, with the same amount of width as the same targeter. So now you might be thinking, huh, that sounds kind of broken. What if Zeus hits you with a 1k lightning unmitigated? Womp womp. Hey, we got thorns. We have a skill testing thorns, right? Because it's not easy, right? Because Achilles, the gust of wind that comes after his smash lasts for what? 0.3 seconds, right? So you have a 0.3 second window of predicting or countering, like, because you see them charging it up or whatever and countering them, right? So now you have counterplay, and the enemy god also knows that you can do this, so they can force you to hold your stun if they just like make you think that they're going to use the ability, right? And your stun is like the only way to shut someone down, so you're only CC in your whole kit. It only lasts a second too, but that second is very important to get off all your damage, because that in that second you can get off an auto attack cancel and one of your combat dashes. So once again, it gives a level of counterplay of, okay, let me hold my stun. Do I want to hold my stun, or do I want to use it and get the stun off now instead of getting the reflect off later? So I think it adds more depth to his character with the one change, and the skin, you know, is just, hey, make him more like an assassin, because he is that jungle solo type. And with Smite 2, you can lean into either the jungle role more, or you can lean into solo role more. It doesn't really matter, because he can do both very well, and both will reward him with cool, unique effects. And now the 2, where I think it gets a little bit more spicy. You know, it keeps ranking up in spiciness. Bro, you want to see what I did with ult? I actually cooked with the ult. I think I actually cooked. The 2, it splits up the defense and offensive stats into 2 different categories. So the skin gets all the offensive stats and the armor gets all the defensive stats. So the skin gets pretty much the power is the only offensive stat that it gives, right? So you get the skin, so you get the power and skin, and you get the protections and the CCR and armor stance. So now you don't have a juggernaut of Achilles just running around with 20% CCR pretty much with 100% uptime. I think his 2 had like a 2 second downtime. If you built full cooldown, it's ridiculous, but don't even get me started. So now you actually have counterplay to him, because now he's not going to be a tanky jungler running around the map unless he says, hey, I don't want that 20% scaling on my 1, and I don't want the empowered auto, because yes, you get empowered auto now when you use your 2 and your next auto will be empowered like a Hydra's proc pretty much. So give you more scaling tools, right? As junglers love to do. So you get rewarded for building a lot of power now instead of building yeah, let me build a defense item here too. You can still do that, but you get less out of it. You get way more out of, being an assassin pretty much. And now in armor, you gain 20% damage reduction during your combat dash. So that brief period where you combat dash, you get 20% damage reduction. So once again, or yeah, 20% damage reduction. You reduce 20% of the incoming damage. Let me make that clear. So now you can actually, instead of just like, if you don't fully dodge out of it, you can actually dodge into someone and know, oh, I can kind of tank this. Oh, let me jump in front of this Nox ult and take the damage for my team. If you want to be that true solo Chad, you can just be him and dash into things knowing that you're going to take reduced damage and still be fine. Now the 3 itself has no cool changes. I think it's already a perfect ability. It has aggressiveness, and you have to at least hit, something that's semi skill demanding. It's not really hard to hit 3 as long as you're decent at aiming. So it allows for some mechanical play without just giving you 2 dashes for free, right? And the dashes and the damage from it is really nice. It's really nice. So I think it's perfect. So it makes it also so where you can't just freely run away. You have to at least turn around, giving some windows opportunity to attack you. But for the ult, I really cooked. When you're in skin stance, so the offensive stance, you get true damage on your ultimate, but you no longer execute, but it has a faster animation, wind up time. So instead of charging back all the way, boom, it's more like a boom, it's quick, it's snappy, like as you want an assassin ult to be. Like, I can't think of a single assassin ult that takes a long time to start up. Tsukiyomi kinda, but like it's different. Like, he immediately at least gets damage with the pew 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 pew, and then he goes in for like 1,000 damage. I don't think any other assassin ult has that long charge up time. So when you're in skin stance, you still have a charge up, don't get me wrong, but it's not like a 10-second charge up. Okay, 10 is a little ridiculous, but like that 1 to half a second charge up, it'll be halved. Yeah, it'll pretty much just be halved in time to make you feel more like an assassin. And you can also use it at any part of the health bar instead of just securing the kill as execute at the end. So it gives you more variability on where you can use his ultimate. Even though in Smite 2, it was still good to use it even if the enemy was above the execute threshold, especially if you were a jungler with burst, because your ult already did like 700 damage because it has 100% scaling on it, which I don't think people understand. Is really good. 550, 540 with 100% scaling. Bro, catch me, especially if it's movement too. Ooh, catch me ulting you and getting you down to a third and then stunning you and then killing you. But besides the point, you can now use this at any point, because now you don't get as punished, because you don't just get, oh hey, Achilles is ulting, everyone turn, look at him, kill him before he can finish his charge. Since you're not going to be building much protections if you're going skin, because you want as much turn out of the percent scaling that you're getting, right? And then it's no longer execute, because you probably rather have the true damage and speed up, and we can't speed it up and it still be execute, because then it's going to feel unfair, because it's still, if you still get the kill, you still get the reset and get to do it again. I'll have another one, But the boring change is armor pretty much the same execute, because I don't think you can get better than an execute for a warrior. Like, which warrior does not want to execute? I think every warrior would love to execute to build full damage and get execute, But the thing I love about these changes is you still can make it work if you want skin as a solo laner, or if you want the armor as a jungler. I think armor as jungler is better than skin for the solo laner, as offensive stance for the solo laner. Yeah, I guess I could have just called it offensive stance. The offensive stance isn't as valuable for a solo laner, as the defensive stance is for a jungler, but I think it's fine to have those, you know, inconsistencies, because at the end of the day, you just want to make the kit more fun, and I think this makes the kit very fun. Like, who wouldn't want to get on and try reflecting back a raw ult? Yeah, raw ult. Who wouldn't want to get back on and reflect back a chain lightning and kill the whole entire enemy team by it? You know, who wouldn't want to see a true damage ult and just basically almost one shot someone if you're building full power, right? And get that reward. And I think we just add a lot of fun changes, and I think it plays more into Achilles either having armor or no armor and actually doing something more than just changing stats. So there it is, and thank you for watching. Next one's Agony.